Okay, hello everybody. Sorry I can't be with you while you're doing your tasting, but with the lockdown it's a little bit difficult. Our theme today is not just about the moon. Now we are those guys that are also using the moon phases. You know, as the moon goes up and down, it goes into different star constellations, and that affects plant growth differently. It affects the way that sap flow moves, and we definitely do use it, but it is not all just what biodynamics is about. On Waterkloof we've got, for instance, our goats. Our goats are light element animals, as I'll explain a little bit later. Therefore their manures are full of potassium, wonderful for making compost with on our deep bed systems. We have our cows. The cows has got all the aerobic bacteria in their rumen, in their gut, and their manure is fantastic for making preparations. So we do use animals on our farm because the whole farm is a closed entity, a living entity, and all these animals bring their own energy to the farm, and that is what we're after. Our animals also in winter is in the vineyards. They graze all the weeds down so that the horses can easily plow. So if you just follow me into the vineyard, my cameraman mustn't trip. So this is Pity, and the horse's name is Jack. And what we do is we use two different plows. One is to open the soil and one is to close the soil. In that process we are throwing a lot of carbon material underneath the soil, and that builds the soil carbon, the water capacity, the microbes that we put out onto the soil can live on that carbon, and that fertilizes and creates terroir in our vineyards. Also, it doesn't eradicate the weeds, it just keeps the pressure down so it doesn't compete. And if you look at our soils, after about 6 years of farming biodynamic, you've got very porous, very pliable soil, and that's wonderful for growing vineyards and getting deep root systems. Let's move over here. So obviously in biodynamics we also make a lot of preparations, a lot of fertilizers ourselves to be sustainable, and everything that we use come from the farm. So if we look at a light element animal like a goat, then we have a light element plant, which would be, in this case, sour figs. You can see it's very pointy, very shapely. Wild rosemary. Both of these are antifungal, and we can use them as antifungal sprays using fermenting microbes to extract the oils that's needed to spray on the vines. Russian comfrey, very high in nitrogen, wonderful for a leaf spray. It all grows around the farm here. And then a water element plant, which would be kooigoed. It's very medicinal. When you smell it, it relaxes you, and we use that to create a harmonious atmosphere. Then one which I've just dropped, thatch grass, very high in silica. If you spray this on your leaves, it builds the chitin layers, it makes the plants more immune against diseases and pests, and a wonderful thing to use. Then what we'll do is we'll collect some cow dung. We'll take eggshells from the chickens, burn it up, mix it with the cow dung, and then we'll put our biodynamic preparations in there, and after about a month we've got nice humified, you can zoom in, material. This is called a cow pad pit. It's full of mycorrhizal funguses. When we spray this product on the vines, it makes a symbiosis where the fungus feeds the vine, and the vine again excretes carbohydrates and feeds the fungus, creating this the symbiosis. So you can see a biodynamic farm is all about the circle of life, using everything around you in your surroundings on the farm to farm and farm healthy and be part of nature, and have that continuous energy flow right through the vines, through the people that work here, and that is really the circle of life. So you guys are going to taste the circle of life wine. This is where it's made, this is where it comes from.